Hey guys, it's Way here and welcome back to yet another episode of my FIFA 19 Team of the Season Market Update series. Today's episode is going to be a big one because it's the first since EA announced anything about Team of the Season. That came yesterday and they released the voting process for the most consistent, which will be released on May the 10th, which is next Friday. So we now know when Team of the Season is going to be. That, however, isn't the main big thing that I was hyping up in the previous videos, saying when EA announced something about Team of the Season we'll see a big price crash. That's going to be a loading screen, which I expect we'll probably see on Wednesday. Now, the reason that player prices haven't crashed massively is because a huge proportion of the player base don't follow EA on Twitter and don't really keep up to date with FootWiz and Foothead and all that kind of stuff, and that's where these announcements for the most consistent have taken place. The majority of the casual player base only really find out about stuff like Team of the Season and any other promos when they see the loading screen at the beginning of Ultimate Team. And I expect we'll probably get one maybe around Wednesday that will just be counting down the days until Team of the Season, and we'll probably have a blue card and maybe some kind of teaser towards some of the players we could possibly get, because I believe by Wednesday the voting process will have ended. So maybe around 6 PM on Wednesday we could have that loading screen, which I think will cause a little bit more of a dip in prices. Right now they're kind of stable. They were dropping loads in the last week or so, and I think now that people who are kind of more widely invested with some of these higher end cards, so typically you'll find the people with players like Ronaldo are going to be people who actually play the game and stay up to date with YouTube and Twitter and everything. So you've not seen a massive crash with panic on those types of cards. I think it's going to be a lot of the lower end cards and the more popular players that a lot of the kind of average consumer of FIFA 19 has. I think they're going to drop down a lot more when we have that loading screen. Just because that's going to be what a lot of those people are going to see. It's going to be the first thing about Team of the Season they see. Now, the most consistent was announced, and we've got the voting process. To be honest, it's not amazing. I mean, the highest rated player we're going to have, I think, is probably going to be Ter Stegen. There's Alan and Telles, who've both got really good cards. Maybe Sissoko as well. There aren't any amazing cards, really, so people aren't getting super hyped with this. I mean, there are going to be a couple of good players, but on the whole, it's going to be fairly average. So I don't think people are getting super hyped about the most consistent. And we're probably not going to have a huge amount of panic and hype when it is actually released. I think it's going to be more so during the big leagues that we see players really start to crash in price, because no one's going to go and just panic sell their whole team to go and get themselves like some average most consistent player. But when we get the Team of the Season squad, which is stacked with like 80 or 90% really good meta players, that's when we're going to see a lot more panic on the market. So that's why these gold cards haven't really dropped down too much since the last episode. They're kind of just stable around the same kind of prices we were seeing a day or two ago. Looking at icons, it's going to be interesting to see what's happened here. They've kind of retained their value again. Not too much has changed. So there hasn't actually been much fluctuation since the last time we checked prices, even though there's been that announcement from EA, which is fairly interesting. A lot of people were speculating that as soon as anything was mentioned, we'd see a dip in prices that would be fairly substantial. I thought that could probably happen, but I think just because we haven't got that initial loading screen, that's what I was talking about in all those previous episodes. I kept saying when we had a loading screen, we'd see a dip in prices, and I thought we'd probably have something like that coinciding with what EA tweeted out. I'd have thought they'd say on the game somewhere, go and check out the forums or whatever to go and vote. Go over to FootWiz, Foothead, and you can vote for your most consistent. But they haven't said anything about that. I think that's why we haven't seen a big dip in price. So players were kind of dropping by a few thousand coins here and there, depending on their prices. Obviously, higher rated players were going down more over the last kind of week or so. But as soon as that announcement came, prices seem to have just kind of plateaued off a little bit. So I think people are now just kind of know what's happening. They know when Team of the Season is. They know they've got a week to prepare, and they know it's not going to be an amazing Team of the Season to start off. So people are probably just kind of sitting with the cards they've got for the moment. I think if you have any of those high-end players like Ronaldo and Messi, I've said over the past couple of weeks now, you have to sell your players as soon as possible going into Team of the Season, and I think now is the best time you're going to get, because those player prices have in some cases actually risen by a little bit, and at the very least they've kind of like leveled out. They're not dropping down loads anymore. So if you still have any big name players, sell them. Also, if you have man of the matches, they shot up because of the weekly objectives, so sell any man of the matches you have for sure. You can make a ton of coins there. But yeah, sell cards you've got, guys, especially meta golds, those big players down there. They're at a good price right now, and it's just downwards from now on, because we're going to have weekend league sell-off. The weekend league has been extended, but around Monday and Tuesday we're going to have a lot of people selling their weekend league teams, because it's the final weekend league before team of the season. So a lot of people want to get rid of players there going into the new promo. So you can see a big dip in price on these types of cards there, all the big expensive cards. So with that in mind, I would recommend once you've played your weekend league games, as soon as possible, try and get them done today. If you may have already got them done, or you may not play weekend league, but try and get them sold as soon as possible. And then you can capitalize and have a good amount of coins going into team of the season and be liquid, because a lot of people have been asking me when the best time to buy players is. It's going to be during team of the season, not beforehand, just because the most consistent isn't really that hyped, so there's not much to expect for it. And people aren't getting super panicked and selling all their players. What you really need to be waiting for is for the big team of the seasons, like the Premier League and the Serie A, La Liga, all of that, where we have the really high rated players. With each of those that comes out, players are going to drop down a good amount in price. And then when we have the best of team of the season, where all the best ones go into packs, that's when the market really kind of bottoms out. And it's down to you, really, when you want to get your players and how patient you want to be, because the longer you wait, the cheaper your players are going to be. It's as simple as that. The closer we get to the end of the FIFA cycle, the cheaper players are. That's just very, very simple. So if you wait till the best of team of the season, which is going to be in 5, 6, maybe 7 weeks time, player prices are going to be super low. Like Ronaldo will be like 500 or 600k. Now it's up to you whether you want to wait a long time and get your players cheaper, or maybe get them during the Premier League or La Liga team of the seasons for a really good price, but knowing they'll then drop down furthermore afterwards. Like, you might be able to get Ronaldo for about 750k, I'm predicting, during one of the big league team of the seasons, and that will be a really good price for him. And then you could use him for a few weeks, and using him with the weekend league and everything, you'd probably be able to get back the coins that you'd end up actually spending if you wanted to get him a little bit cheaper, the coins you'd be saving, if that makes sense. So it really is up to you. Like, people are asking me all the time, when should you buy players? Don't buy them right now. Wait until team of the season actually starts, because there's still a long way to go in terms of a dip in prices. Right now, they've actually peaked in some cases, so it's a good time to sell if you haven't already, which hopefully you will have. But I think it really is down to patience. If you want to get the cards super cheap, then wait for longer. I mean, even after the best of team of the season, we're probably going to have, Festival of Foot, footies, lots of different promos, maybe an international football one as well, because we've got the Nations League and stuff, and with that, players are just going to drop down, because the game kind of dies after team of the season anyway, so players are just really cheap. So you can expect to see prices very cheap in a couple of months' time. But I mean, do you really want to wait 7 weeks to get yourself a Ronaldo for an extra kind of 100, 200k cheaper? Is it really worth? I would personally just go and buy the card when they're at a good price during one of the big league team of the seasons, like the Premier League, and have fun using them for the next couple of weeks left of the game, and play during team of the season, foot champs, get packs, which will probably guarantee you blue cards. Will probably have blue cards in the red player pick packs. Least, fingers crossed, I hope we do, because if we're just still getting boring informs, literally no one's going to care, especially when the season ends and team of the week's going to be dead. I mean, no one's going to play weekend league to get themselves a pack with some discard price inform from the third Bundesliga or whatever. So I'm really hoping we are going to get blue cards from foot champs, and that's going to give people more of an incentive to play the game and use those high-end players. So I would definitely advise on picking up any players you're looking to buy during those bigger league team of the seasons. I think with each one we get, prices will drop down by 5 to 10% or so. So obviously, if you want to get them a little bit earlier, go with the Premier League, and you'll be getting them at a slightly higher price. You can wait until maybe the Serie A, kind of in the middle. They'll be a little bit cheaper, but obviously you're waiting an extra week or two. So it really is up to you, as I keep saying. And hopefully that answers all the questions I've got recently. Loads and loads of people have been asking me, when should you buy your players? And as I've already said, if you still for some reason have big players in your club, sell them now, because they have actually increased a tiny bit in price. And with weekend league sell-off after this for champs, they will definitely be dropping down a good amount. Special cards, as always, they're all just dropping down. I think apart from in very rare occasions, maybe like Artur, for example, I think he's risen slightly, and it's because he's not in the most consistent voting, which a lot of people thought he might be. Actually, no, he's got an inform. But I think there are a few players. There are a couple of players, a few very rare kind of exceptions. I think De Jong, possibly, for example. There's a couple. I think they're mainly future stars cards. players who aren't in the most consistent voting, who people are now kind of thinking their future stars card or the special card they have could be the best one they have for the rest of the game. In some cases they've kind of gone up a little bit in value, but that's very, very rare, so ignore that on the whole unless you happen to have any of those cards. But there we go. Hopefully this video is going to help you guys out. Leave any questions you've got down below in the comment section, and I'll try my best to get back to you in the next episode of this series. And yeah, I'll see you guys later. Take care.